Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot. It's my weekly talk show where I talk about the goings on in the world of professional wrestling, good and bad, called Put Over and Bury, and then the main topic of the episode. But as always, we start with Put Over and Bury. So let's just go ahead and get this thing going. And first, we put over. And the first thing we had to put over, obviously, was SummerSlam. Which is just with a fantastic show from start to finish. Some really good things going on right now in WWE, and this is amazing. I don't know if this is like I don't know if this is like the Paul Heyman effect, or if this is maybe just Vince giving people more creative freedom or whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is this last 2 months or so have been really good. I think of WWE, in my opinion, it really has. And this was no different. SummerSlam was an awesome pay-per-view, just incredible. And we had no Roman Reigns, which was which was incredible to think about. We had a SummerSlam with no Roman Reigns, and it was pretty darn good, right? So take for that what you will, you Roman haters will see. That's exactly the reason why it was good. But SummerSlam I thought was really fantastic. So good on them, really good on them. If you want to see my review, go back and check out my rapid reaction of it. Also, go back and check out my rapid reaction to NXT Takeover. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good as well. And the next thing we got to put over is obviously the Fiend. It's what everybody was talking about. SummerSlam, the Fiend. Um, what an entrance! What a just everything, right? Came down with his severed head as the thing. I will say this: as long as many other people we were kind of worried when they had edited the YouTube clip, and then he wasn't on Monday Night Raw in any sort of fashion. They didn't replay, they didn't do a repackage, or they didn't do anything. And there have been some rumors saying that possibly WWE might be going back, taking the Fiend like back, maybe they went too far because there were like some kids and things like that. They might have been, something like that. But what it looks like is that they edited the YouTube version because the severed head went against YouTube guidelines. That was one, and two, um, they just want the Fiend to be a special attraction. They don't want the Fiend to be wrestling on Raw or wrestling on SmackDown. And I actually think that's a good idea. The Fiend, that's not something the Fiend should be. What what it should be, the Fiend should attack his victim. He should do exactly what he did to Finn Balor. He should attack his victim and then do Firefly Funhouse skits to set up the thing, and then maybe that go home week, maybe the Fiend attacks somebody else, or and then the and then maybe the person comes in, or even maybe he would the Fiend would attack him again, something like that. And then maybe we get to a point to where even where if the Fiend attacks somebody, maybe the babyface fights him off, and and chases the Fiend, and chases the Fiend away. And then you think, wow, did you get the Fiend? And then the Fiend overcomes, Fiend takes him down. So we'll have to wait and see about all of that. But as a presentation, the Fiend, I gave it, in my rap reaction, I gave it 5 stars as a presentation. It was just, the entire thing was just magnificent. Magnificent. Speaking of magnificent, the last thing I got to put over was the Buddy Murphy Roman Reigns match on SmackDown Live. I tell you, that was some good stuff, man. And it was incredible. Buddy Murphy's first match on SmackDown was that good, and it was against big time Roman Reigns, and um, it was fun. It was incredible. Gave Buddy Murphy a lot of good stuff. He gave him a lot of near falls and everything like that. Oh, he overcome. But this is one of those things where, well, yeah, Buddy Murphy may have took the loss, but it was not. It was not anything that you could say. Well, they're not. They're not looking at. Because Roman Reigns kind of gave him like after the match, like I said, yeah, he give him the nod. Yeah, like it's what I do. It's like, yeah, that guy can go. So it's really really fun. So this could be a start for something for Buddy Murphy. This might even be a first turn after what happened later on in the night when he got attacked by Rowan and Daniel Bryan. So we'll wait and see what they do. Continue on with Buddy Murphy, but as a match, it was fantastic and good stuff from Buddy Murphy and Roman Reigns on SmackDown Live. And now to Barry. And the first thing I have to bury is Jack Swagger, from some far out reason, was going after Goldberg after SummerSlam. I have no idea why. I don't know why all these morons want to come after Goldberg for some reason. Goldberg, who has drawn more money in this business than they would ever draw. Matt Riddle, Jack Swagger, anybody else. Drawing more money than they could ever think of. Than they probably even made in wrestling. And they want to come. They want to come at Goldberg. I mean, it's fucking stupid. It really is. It's just it's amazing how off of one incident, and that's the one I'm going after. I'm going after it's the one where he took out Bret Hart with the super kick. Basically ended Bret's career, and unfortunately because of that he's had like strokes and stuff. But it's I'm not. It's so ridiculous and ignorant to do that. It really is. So just whatever, y'all just need to like stop with that going after Goldberg. It's ridiculous. The next one is the Toronto Raw crowd. Listen, I know it's a SummerSlam is now starting to be like a smarky crowd, and anything like this, like the WrestleMania crowd becomes smarky and things like that. And normally they would do things and they're more vocal, and they're more upset. I don't want to say upset, but they're just more vocal than they normally are. And you kind of go with the crowd. But when Natalya comes out there and she starts to talk, and she's trying to set up something, and she's trying to talk about her father and everything like that, and she's from Canada, and they want to sit up there and they want to chant boring and all these other things. It's so sickening. And these are the same people that cheered Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. So, yeah, you're starting to see that the Toronto fans aren't very good fans. They aren't as good as the people are starting to, as we thought they were. So, just it's sickening. Really was sickening. And the final thing we're gonna bury is I saw this on Twitter. I saw this actually from Jim Cornette because he was railing on this. Apparently, somebody did an invisible spear through a table, and it's and I don't go as far as Jim Cornette does with all this stuff, but yeah, this is some of the shit that I think is stupid. invisible spears, invisible hand grenades, the shit that Orange Cassidy does, the dick flip from Joey Ryan. All of these are just, it's foolishness and fuckery at the highest level. It really is, and it's just, it's so stupid. I mean, really, it's not, that's not professional wrestling. It really isn't. There's stuff for comedy and there's stuff for goofiness. I love the 24/7 stuff. I love it. That's what's a part of wrestling. This is not a part of wrestling. Somebody taking an invisible spirit from two invisible brothers. It's just, and the shit like the tampon thing from Priscilla Kelly. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's not professional wrestling. It really isn't. So fuck off with that shit. And our main topic of this episode is the return of Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks made her triumphant return during that 90 segment with the Toronto crowd on Monday Night Raw. And, she came down. She gave some girls on the side a hug, and she came down with her, all of her purple hair in her glory. And, Natty was talking about her father and talking about, getting really emotional about it. She came out there and she looked up there and she even pointed to the sky. You probably said, he's watching you, he's proud of you, and all that stuff. And then she went to go take a mic, and then what she did, she actually turned around and she slapped or punched Natalia, and she started beating her up. She took off her hair to reveal some blue ass hair, and basically effectively turning heel, and then Becky Lynch came down to make the save, and then she beat up Becky Lynch, and then she took chairs and beat her up with chairs and everything like that. So this was something to see. I had predicted, actually, I had predicted in my predictions episode that the night that on SummerSlam, Natalia would win the title by an interference from Sasha Banks. I thought she would like knock out Becky Lynch in somehow form or fashion, and then Natalia would lock on a sharpshooter or some type of submission move, and she would, referee would do the thing where to touch the arm, and she would, feel like she passed out, and then that way they could, keep Becky strong, while also doing the effective heel turn and then giving Natalia a title shot. That's what I thought, because I didn't think they were gonna have, everybody from Canada lose, and in my prediction, I forget that Kevin Owens is from Canada. Maybe even he might even be from Toronto. So he actually didn't, and he didn't lose. So that's why Natalia and Trish, they were able to lose. But anyway, so effective heel turn. But what I want to talk about is the main thing is what happened in the past and what could we see going forward. Now, if you don't know, obviously, Bayley and Sasha Banks were the tag team champions and women's tag team champions. They lost it at WrestleMania. Now, allegedly, they were told that they were going to be given a lengthy run with the tag titles. They were going to be given a lengthy run with them to try to establish them, make them mean something, make them into something that the fans would care about. And obviously that did not happen, because then they immediately put them on two comedy wrestlers who they didn't who they didn't do anything with, and obviously I think what has happened is that Vince did not care for that, so he decided to put them on the Iconics, knowing that he could keep the titles off television because they're on Iconics and nobody particularly cares about the Iconics at this point. At least nobody would, or well, I don't want to say nobody cares about the Iconics, but because that's kind of harsh to say that, but that nobody would care that the Iconics were on TV, were not on TV, meaning that the tag titles were not on TV. Now, I thought that was kind of the wrong way. I thought that at the very least, they should have kept on doing the thing that they did that very first night when they wrestled the Brooklyn Bells and everything like that. They should have that should have been a weekly thing. It wouldn't have taken up too much time. 3 or 4 minutes with the entrance and everything like that. It could have been a fun thing, and then they could have established other tag teams. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. So they were upset at that. Apparently they were very vocal, throwing temper tantrums. Bailey and Sasha Banks. So much so that Sasha actually she left the company. She left the company. She said she wanted to quit. Which for me, I have said it. I've said it before, and I'll say it now. They should have let her go. They should have let her go. The fact that when people say that they want to quit, and the fact that what they do is that they don't let them quit, and in fact, in certain occasions, they even give them maybe what they want, like the Revival wanted to quit months ago. And instead, they actually gave them the tag team titles. They gave them the titles twice. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson wanted to quit. They gave them what they wanted. They wanted, they gave them. Well, I don't say they wanted to quit. Apparently what happened is that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they turned down an offer. They turned down an offer to stay. So to keep them there, they decided to put them back with AJ and form the OC, and then now they've re-signed. That was that, and Luke Harper wanted to quit, and they've actually not kept him. And that's they're doing something which I don't agree with. They're kind of giving him the runaround where he's going up to Vince and saying, "Hey Vince, I asked for my release, and then Vince is saying, well, you should talk to Triple H, and then he can't get in contact with Triple H for some reason. So that's really not a good way to do business, really. They really should either just say, listen, we don't if you want to leave when your contract is up, that's totally fine, but we want to keep you on, until your contract is up. And don't put on the injury stuff. Don't do the thing where, if they're injured, because that's what they can do now. If you get injured, they can add that time that you were injured and add that to your contract. Don't do that. They want to release, they release. And then they release people that they weirdly crazy. They released Ty Dillinger, they released Kenta. So it's kind of crazy to what they've done. With who they release and who they don't release. There was a rumor that that Maria and Mike Kanellis had asked for their release. They denied it, and they did sign contract. Now they did it good. They signed, like, each one of them making $500,000 over the next 5 years, and they signed the contract. And then, oh my goodness, I'm pregnant. So they kind of worked the system, and but all in all, Dean Ambrose is the one that did it right. He's decided that, well, I'm just not, I'm not gonna resign. I want to go and do something else where I can have more freedom, or do more other things. So yeah, that's what he's done, and and then he left the company, and that's what you do. You just work out your contract. And that's what I think. That's what people should do. If you're not happy there, work out your contract. But that's not what Sasha Banks did. She started throwing temper tantrums, and she's been gone since WrestleMania. And there were always rumors that she was maybe just gonna sit out her contract. They were told that she was on the outs, and then they started to talk and things like that. And then there was like some rumors that she has decided to stay on. at least for the rest of her contract, and then she's going to work out some stuff. So now, and then now look where she's at. She's now in the number one heel position on Monday Night Raw and going up against Becky Lynch. And they are probably going to have a months on months feud that will probably commence with Sasha Banks winning the championship and Sasha Banks being Raw Women's Champion for, is it the fifth time? I think it's the fifth time. And then there's probably a chance where she's gonna face, if they still are doing the Raw versus SmackDown stuff, if they're still doing that, if they are still doing that, then it's at Survivor Series. Then it's probably gonna get Bayley versus Sasha there, and then that might lead to even Bayley and Sasha at WrestleMania, with one of them winning the Royal Rumble, and then facing the other one at WrestleMania. So, and there's a great story behind it too. Bayley can say, "You left me, Sasha. You left me. We could have, but you cried and bitched and moaned like a baby. I stayed here. Look what I did. I won the Money in the Bank. I won the SmackDown Women's Championship. I stayed here. I made it better for myself. And you cried and bitched and moaned. So that's an already built-in story. So I think that's a great thing to go for. I don't know how much longer she has on the contract. I don't know how much longer she's going to be with the company. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her and how they treat her, and and what else happens. But for my mind, and I will always say this, as happy as I am to see her back, and as good as I think that this could be, I'm glad that she's healed. I think that's maybe something that also was needed, is healed, and I think that is the case. I think there will be a segment of the fans that will want to boo her. I think the fans want to boo her because she did take her ball and go home, and so I do think that there will be a segment of fans that can boo her. So yeah, and she will get booed, and I think that's good. They shouldn't try to keep her as a baby face. I think I like the fact that she came out as a baby face, hugging fans and even trying to get on the Tiger's good side. But I think and it was also needed too, because there's really not a major heel. There's not a major heel on Raw. The major heel on SmackDown is Charlotte Flair for Bayley. But there's not one on Raw. So now you have a number one heel in the women's division in Sasha Banks. So I think that's good. And I also think they can also do some other good stuff too. I think they can have good matches. So as I would like to see, I think that's what it should be, right? We've had what? I think we've got Clash of Champions. I think that should be a good match. That's what I would do. I would have them, obviously, Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, the Clash of the Champions. I actually would have it be some type of bullshit finish, although the fans are not happy with that, as we see with as we saw with Kofi and Randy on SummerSlam. But I would do a bullshit finish where they just fight and and so then at October in the Hell in a Cell, woo, guess what? It's Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch inside Hell in a Cell. Everything goes, and then that's when Sasha Banks wins the Women's Championship. And then if November if November is going to be Raw versus SmackDown, then yeah, that's what happens. So, but if Raw, if it isn't going to be Raw versus SmackDown, if they're going to change things up for Survivor Series, then maybe I wouldn't do the Hell in a Cell match. Maybe I would still have Sasha Banks win the title there. And then I would maybe have the rematch. I would have the rematch at Survivor Series between those two, and I would have it in some type of special match. Maybe I would do the steel cage match or something like that. And then I would, and then what I would do is I would still make that way to WrestleMania, where um, I would have Bayley at some point lose the championship to Charlotte Flair, or whoever, and then I would have her win the Royal Rumble, and then have her go after Sasha Banks with the whole thing from last year. So I would totally do that. But yeah, I think again, like I was saying, it's good to have her back. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with her. Um, but I would say this: I think they should have let her go, and I think anybody else that decides who asks for their release, it should be granted. Because guess what? You don't need to worry about them going to New Japan or going to a Ring of Honor or any other place or AEW. You are the freaking WWE. And just because they would get Luke Harper, or they would sign the Revival, or they would sign Sasha Banks, or they would sign John Moxley, or they would sign whoever you would let go, that doesn't mean that they are going to take you down, and they are any competition towards you. Because at this point, they are not. They are an upstart company with a lot of hype. Hype that maybe they can live up to, maybe they can't, maybe they can even surpass it. We won't know until they officially start television. And we probably won't start until 6 months after that television, if they've ever actually been able to do what they needed to do, or is they just gonna be another TNA? So let them go. All right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. If you have any thoughts on my putovers, if you have any thoughts on my berries, and any thoughts on my main topic, Sasha Banks returns, let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.